Hey everyone, sorry about the glitches. YouTube is being all of the crazy and StreamYard was not helping. And y'all know how I deal with tech issues. I turn off the computer and I restart it again because that's the level of my tech skills. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Tuesday. It is February the 23rd. I get to go to my primary care physician today and he gets to tell me I'm still a well-nourished American. So, baby steps, baby steps. Good morning, Colorado Mountain Girl and Captain Kern and Debbie W. We are starting, Tuesday right by making fun of Alec Baldwin, which should be a national pastime because, as we learned in Team America World Police, he is the douchiest douche that ever douched. I'm sorry, YouTube, it was confirmed. So let me make sure that the other stream was actually canceled because, dear Lord, YouTube is trying to make me crazy, trying to know things and understand things in tech, which is not my general comfort zone. But sometimes life gives you a comfort zone that you're not quite uh, you're not quite ready for, and it's okay. That just means you get to learn and you get to, grow and maybe learn a new skill. And Giraffe Gal, I just want to let you know that you are in my thoughts and prayers. We are all here for you. I hope that I can provide a little bit of, levity while you're going through a not so great time. So I am so glad that you're sharing your story with us and that we are here to hopefully comfort you. Good morning, JWH78 and Dan Cicchione. Look, I am terrible with names. I am very sorry if I just, unalived your name with my mispronunciation, but phonics are not a thing I do. Good morning, Sal. And Tammy, if I didn't say hi to you, good morning. And good morning, Melanie from Yorkshire, West England. I am going to go to England one day. Probably not this week, y'all. I have to work up to setting myself a salon appointment. I'm that introverted. Good morning, Karen. I'm glad you got to see us live. So we are starting the day the right way, making fun of Alec Baldwin, where he's apparently just getting more battery charges. Oh, Shacoin, thank you so much. And I'm going to switch to JW. I'm sure you probably already told me, but I have the attention span of a goldfish sometimes. So thank you so much for the pronunciation. And I will definitely try to remember, but I make no promises. So, Alec Baldwin smacks phone of Israeli agitator who demanded he say free Palestine in a coffee shop. Listen, y'all. Listen, you slacktivists, you kidults, you people that have found a worthy cause. Stand up for the women in Iran who risk life and limb and honestly, eh, the most incredible torture that you can imagine for just not wearing a hijab. Fight for the girls who are being kidnapped from schools. There are plenty of righteous causes out there. I am I'm so tired of these slacktivists that have no idea. And I am at least humble enough to say I don't understand enough of the Mesopotamia stuff to give you a hot take. And I would much rather you research and make up your own mind. Ugh. Well, so Alec Baldwin, as per usual, is a giant douche, but he's Alec Baldwin. I think it's a character trait now. Alec Baldwin was caught on camera smacking the phone of an anti-Israeli agitator who repeatedly demanded he say, quote, free Palestine, end quote, inside a New York City coffee shop, according to footage posted online Monday night. How about check your prop? How about you get him to say check your prop and take accountability? The rabble-rouser approached the actor while he appeared to be on the phone and the cash register at the cash register inside the shop and began relentlessly harassing him. The video shows, "Alec, can you please say free Palestine one time?" The protester who hosts a quote-unquote anti-fascist show. Holy giblets in heaven. We need to have can Schoolhouse Rock come back and explain fascism? Like, can we have a jaunty song? Don't make me have to write it, because I will use AI to write a jaunty song about explaining about, what fascism actually is, the Webster's Dictionary. But just like the word literally, the word fascism will be restricted when I am president, because people are not using it in the correct context. And as George Carlin always said, this is the language we agreed upon. Please use it. And his show is called Crackhead Barney and Friends. Well, I mean, if that doesn't make you motivated to go see and listen to this person's hot takes on, international conflict, I don't know what would make you more confident in his, acumen about the Middle East. She continued to accost Baldwin, 66, before he went toward the door inside Mammon on University Place and motioned for her to get out, the video shows. Quote, "Free Palestine, Alec, just one time and I'll leave you alone," she said. "I'll leave you alone, I swear." No, they won't. No, they won't. Insufferable women on a ridiculous cause will not. No, you give them an inch, they want to shut down Golden Gate Bridge. She pressed as he shook his head no and held the door open. "F Israel, F Zionism," she added. The podcast host, who is known for ambush interviews, also brought up Baldwin's criminal case in New Mexico, where he's facing a charge of fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchinson on the set of Rust. Ma'am, you better be careful. Alec Baldwin is known to go ham on some people, so the fact that he just snatched your phone means that he is dealing with some personal growth, because the last time someone got him irritated, he hauled off and, well, his hand met someone else's face, I think. So, personal growth, baby steps, Alec Baldwin. By the time you're 99, maybe you'll be a semi-decent person. Quote, "Why'd you kill that lady? You killed that lady and got no jail time," the agitator claimed while calling him a criminal. Ma'am, come here, sweetie. Over to Mama Mo. Come on over. If you want to get people to deal with your insufferable insanity, try not to poke at their sore spots. I don't know. That's just a personal idea from Mo. You can take it or leave it. The 30 Rock alumni has pled not guilty to an involuntary manslaughter case that's scheduled for July. We all know what happened on Rust. He was, in charge of everything, basically. He was the overhead manager, and things were done, well, with a 10% of a half-assed job. At one point during the coffee shop encounter, a worker tried to get the aggressor to stop, but to no avail. Baldwin also appeared to ask the employee to call the police during the verbal altercation. The video cuts out when Baldwin smacks the protester's phone after he appeared to ask the worker, "Can you do me a quick favor?" It's unclear when the confrontation took place. The Post has sought comment from a lawyer who represents Baldwin. This isn't the first time that people have gotten in the face of Baldwin. A group of protesters heckled the actor last December and asked if he would condemn Israel. Baldwin replied, "No, but I support peace for Gaza," which left them annoyed. Go love yourself," one man yelled. Anti-Israel protests have been insufferable. Look, I get you feel very deeply for this. This is the cause du jour right now, but you are not going to sway the basic middle swath of swath of Americans who would just like to be left alone by causing us to sit in traffic. No one has changed in mind after sitting in traffic because some yahoos shut down the bridge. I'm just throwing it out there. You get more flies with honey than you do with being insufferable. And good morning, Mo. Not Mo, Christine. I was reading the thing. I hope you are having a wonderful day. And yes, check out Sal and Squid Pro Quo and Captain Kern. They are all, YouTubers, and we need to support everyone that's really trying this out, that's working on this. It is not as easy as it looks. Good morning, Pernella. I hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday. So, yeah, try not being insufferable while protesting. Could that happen? I mean, it's just a thought, but maybe you would sway some of us middle, politically homeless people if you weren't insufferable asses. I'm just throwing it out there. You make me sit in traffic. I will do anything to thwart your your protest. And as Shizzy and I discussed in length, introverts have already planned every scenario, and we will come for you allegedly in Minecraft. Not anything illegal, but we will work hard to own the bank that has your mortgage, okay? Good morning, Marlena Mars and Celestial Force. Our next story is a Nigerian chess champion plays the royal game for 60 hours, a new global chess record. I how did he not how did I thought if you clinically went 2 or 3 days without sleep, it can mess with your brain so much that it's really disorientating. But hey, he seems like he's really good at chess. I'm really good at checkers because I don't move the back row, but that's cheating. So I have not graduated to chess. A Nigerian chess champion and child education advocate played chess nonstop for 60 hours in New York's Times Square to break the Guinness World Record for the longest chess marathon. Tunde Anakoya, 29, hopes to raise $1 million for children's education across Africa through the record attempt that began on Wednesday. He set out to play the royal game for 58 hours, but continued until he reached 60 hours at 12:40 a.m. Saturday, surpassing the current chess marathon record of 56 hours, 9 minutes, and 37 seconds achieved in 2018 by Norwegians Halvard Holg Flabato and Serge Firkenstad. Duct Tape and Holy Waters takes no responsibility for the fact that their hosts cannot say any names because there was an O with a cross in it, and I have no idea how that's sad. Guinness World Record Organization has yet to publicly comment about Tunde's attempt. It sometimes takes weeks for the organization to confirm any new record. Guinness World Record Organization. Tunde played against Sean Martinez, an American chess champion, in line with Guinness World Record guidelines that any attempt to break the record must be made by two players who play continuously for the entire duration. Support began growing online and at the scene, where a blend of African music kept onlookers and supporters entertained. Amid cheers and applause, among the dozens who cheered Tunde on the scene was Nigerian music star Davido. The record attempt is for, quote, the dream of millions of children across Africa without access to education, said Tunde, who founded Chess in the Slums Africa 2018, an organization that wants to support the education of at least 1 million children in the slums across the continent. What a wonderful thing to try to give back. I mean, this is more of what we need. This man noticed a problem, noticed a need that wasn't being fixed by the government or, religious agencies or whatever look, I don't know enough about African governments, and they're kind of transitory, if you will. But he's seen a need, and he's, gone out and done something about it. We can't fix the world. I wish we could, but we can fix our corner. And he's trying to fix his corner. And what a beautiful message. For every hour of game played, Tunde and his opponent only got 5 minutes break. The breaks were sometimes grouped together, and Tunde would use them to catch up with Nigerians and New Yorkers cheering him on. He even joined in some of their dancing. A total of $22,000 was raised within the first 20 hours of the attempt, said Tawa Adiemi, his manager. The support has been overwhelming from Nigerians in the US, global leaders, celebrities, and hundreds of passersby, he said. Tunde's attempt was closely followed in Nigeria, where he regularly organizes chess competition for younger people living on the streets. More than 10 million school-aged children are not in school in the West African country, one of the world's highest rates. Among those who have publicly supported him are celebrities and public office holders, including Nigeria's former president, Yemi Osinbajo, who also wrote Tunde on social media platform X, "Remember your own powerful words." Quote, "It's possible to do great things from a small place," end quote. So, that's a wonderful I always kick myself in the foot when I pick stories that are, they have names that I know I will not pronounce well. Flash fan, I am doing well today. I hope, you are doing great too. In other news, a judge declares a mistrial in the case of the Arizona rancher accused of unaliving an unarmed migrant. Let me see if they have a picture of him here. My heart goes out to this older man. I can't imagine being older, knowing that you are not capable of protecting yourself the way you once may have been. You've worked hard on a ranch all your life. That puts a lot of toll on your body. And then there are people, and you hear, freedom seeds being launched everywhere, and you are afraid, and you are protecting your wife. And unfortunately, you take a life, but you were. So, y'all, I am biased. I see this as self-defense. I am sure there are people that disagree with me, and that is perfectly okay. I never ask you to agree with me on everything. I want you to make up your own minds. Just, be civil. But you didn't? Well, that's good. Yeah. So it's very saddening to me that we are now having prosecutors do things politically. If you look at this case, and if the facts were, I haven't looked at all the facts at this case. I have only done like a 360,000 mile view, so I am not quite sure what went on. But and I do need to. That's on me. I do need to do more research. But I guess I am the here lately. I am emotionally swayed by old people getting, locked up for dumbness. Old line right, yeah, based on the evidence, we can't even say he fired the shot. It's crazy. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. I always love your talk to texts. Judge declares mistrial in case of Arizona rancher accused of unaliving unarmed migrant. A judge has declared a mistrial on the case of 75-year-old Arizona rancher George Allen Kelly, accused of fatally shooting a migrant on his property near the U.S.-Mexico border. The court confirmed Monday night. Jurors have been deliberating since Thursday afternoon. Kelly was charged with second-degree murder and aggravated assault in the January 2023 fatal shooting of Gabriel Cien Butimia, 48, a migrant who lived across the border in Nogales, Mexico. He had pled not guilty. Law enforcement officials and The said San Biamita was traveling with a group of migrants who ran when they saw Border Patrol agents in the area. Gabriel and another migrant were allegedly heading back to the southern side of the border when they passed through Kelly's cattle ranch. It's then that prosecutors, Binger, said Kelly recklessly fired his AK-47 from a distance of 115 yards, fatally striking Gabriel in the back. And welcome, King Pokey, Master of Railroads, WMC. Thank you so much for joining us today. During the trial, prosecutors pointed out inconsistent statements Kelly made to law enforcement officials throughout the investigation. According to prosecutors, Kelly told Jeremy Marcel, a border agent who worked as a ranch liaison, that he was returning fire after getting shot at by a group of 5 armed individuals who were wearing packs and running southbound. Prosecutors claim Kelly first failed to tell law enforcement agents he shot his weapon. Prosecutors say his story changed minutes later when he told law enforcement officials it was a group of about 10-15 people armed with AR-style rifles. Now, here's the inconsistency part that I'm going to refute here, or at least in my opinion. He just ended a life. He probably was in shock. He probably has a great deal of PTSD. You, honest to God, cannot remember. You, honest to goodness, can. Well, yeah. Look, I have to use certain language, but I am going to probably next week. My goal is to have at least one Rumble exclusive story that gets a little spicy. So I am going to try the Styx route and have one where I don't have to use YouTube approved words, if you will. Oh, good to know. You know, we do have really good school bus drivers, but I'm trying to stay on tangent. So it's good to remember our school bus drivers, but I'm getting back to the story. Authorities say that Gabriel was unarmed and they were unable to find evidence of another weapon being fired. Quote, when you see 2 unarmed migrants walking southbound beyond 2 fence lines and you take your AK-47 and you walk out, don't say a word, point at them and shoot, what would a reasonable person do in that situation? That wasn't the situation. It wasn't a clear morning. He didn't see them. It was the dead of night. From what I have, just briefly looked at, it's the dead of night. You hear freedom seeds going off like it is, the 4th of July. You are going to become Twitter pated. You are going to go into survival mode. And, with the realization that you are older, you have a wife at home you need to protect, I don't get prosecuting this guy. Kelly's lawyers tried to poke holes in the prosecutor's account of the incident and accused law enforcement officials of failing to follow other leads that would have cleared their client of any wrongdoing. They also accused law enforcement of falsely claiming that Kelly had admitted to shooting at multiple people. Quote, that is not true. Allen never said that. Law enforcement wasn't listening and they didn't care. They already decided he was guilty, said defense attorney Brenna Larkin. The defense claimed Kelly was protecting himself and his wife and only fired warning shots several yards above the group. Authorities were not able to find the freedom seed that struck Gabriel. The defense claimed he was shot by another person in the group. Lead detective Jorge Anzia testified during the trial and told Kelly's attorney he believed Kelly shot at Gabriel. Quote, there is no other shot involved in this. The victim sustained a serious injury from an AK-style rifle with a trajectory directly from Mr. Kelly's residence. During the trial, visitors visited Kelly's ranch. Well, I hope they visited in the dead of night. And welcome, Fraud at Wrangler, because it is so different. Prosecutors in the courtroom can say, you did all this in 3 minutes. do you want to sit here and see how long 3 minutes is? Do you know how long 3 minutes is when you are in a stressful situation? It's about 24 seconds. Let's see. Investigators said they had found a total of 9 casings outside of his home that fit patterns of shots fired in Gabriel's direction. So y'all basically guesstimated. Look, thank you so much, Fraud at Wrangler. I am getting my light up board and tags up, so we are almost in business. And Mr. Mo kindly put up my curtain rod so I can have another background if I choose to not show shenanigans in the background. So thank you so much. Jurors also heard testimony from Daniel Ramirez, an migrant who says he was with Gabriel, who claimed he grabbed his chest and said, "I'm hit," before dying. Ramirez testified that they were being smuggled into the United States and were not trafficking drugs. Well, you're still committing a crime, sir. It's called being trafficked into the United States. Ramirez, wait a minute. Sir, you just said you were not trafficking any not street legal pharmaceuticals, and then you admitted to smuggling the devil's lettuce on one previous occasion to reduce the fee he owed the smugglers to get him across the border. Dude, how many times have you jumped it? Kelly was charged with aggravated assault against Ramirez. Prosecutors also showed jurors text messages allegedly sent by Kelly, which the prosecution claimed showed his state of mind in the weeks before the shooting. Quote, "Overrun with drug cartel, AG getting a lot of work." Oh, AK getting a lot of work, all in caps, one text message read. Court documents obtained by ABC News show another text message exchange between Kelly and a friend on November 23, 2022. A friend asked what his plans were for Thanksgiving. "Patrolling the border for Northerners," Kelly said, or "for you Northerners." His friend replies, "Shoot straight," or "shoot many rounds," Kelly responded. Again, these people along the border have dealt with this for years. They've dealt with cattle being, taken out. The amount of work it takes to run a cattle ranch, to keep everything going, to keep the lines going, to keep the fences going, to keep the animals safe, to feed them in all sorts of weather. You don't get a day off. There is no day off in farming or ranching. And then to have people come through and trample your life's work. This man is old. All he is seeing is his life's work getting trampled by people who don't appreciate things. And again, it's one of those things like living in chronic pain or anything else that you've gone through. You don't get it until you get it. So if you have not lived with the state of chaos that is Southern Texas right now for years and years, then I don't think anyone can get it. Yeah, that's the thing. They're always crossing through his ranch hundreds a day. So it is just terrible. And welcome, Nene Estep. So, this is just venting to your friend. And unfortunately, it can be used against you. So if you write a text, try to think about what a prosecutor would think. I do it all the time. Believe me. The more I watch LawTube, the more I edit my texts. Meet the Long Islander who won 100K playing Candy Crush on LIIR. I don't know what that is. Now he's gunning for $1 million. Holy fazolies, you can get money for playing Candy Crush? I'm dead awful at most video games, but Candy Crush I can work. I am the Hank Hill of video games. New Yorkers suffer from some of the longest commutes in the U.S., but Long Islander Jay Sinomovich wishes his ride to work was longer. "My commute was about 45 minutes, so as soon as I boarded the Hempstead line from Floral Park to Penn Station, I was locked into the Candy Kingdom," he told the Post. No worries, Debbie. We all have that day. Oh. Thank you, Old Line Red. I was like, is this a new video gaming platform? I am so naive sometimes. But I love when you guys correct me because I'm learning new things and things I didn't really ever know or things that I've forgotten, which are legion. He by the day, Simonovic, okay, we're just gonna call him Jay, 52, works in fiber optics, but before and after his shift ends, he trains as the reigning Candy Crush champion of the world after achieving sweet victory in the 2023 Candy Crush All-Stars tournament. There's an All-Stars tournament of this? How do you train? Do you just, like, do thumb exercises? Like, I've got to be nimble. To do. I don't know. And he is planning to do it again this year. Since 2012, Jay has relied on his daily commute via the Long Island Railroad to play his favorite game, Candy Crush Saga, a ritual that has helped him score $100,000 last year. And you get 20,000 of that after taxes. I'm just kidding. I don't know how much he gets after taxes, but it is a kick in the gut when you get like your tax thing from when you get maybe unexpected money or a promotion. It's like, wait a minute, I was proud of myself. And then here, government. And Nene Estep says, from what I saw, the state didn't prove their case in the Kelly trial. Law enforcement officers seemed off in their testimony. I was surprised the jury was hung. I think defense attorneys are doing a lot more in voir dire. I think they are trying to weed out, especially in these politically, let's just say politically charged cases. I think they have understood that they need to do thorough research on the potential jurors so they know exactly who they're getting, run their social media, do that kind of thing, because it is amazing. We all have personal biases. It's not a problem. That's how life works. We all have, things that we like better than one thing than another. I think some defense lawyers have really gotten a whole lot better at picking juries, but you're always going to have the people that for some reason or another resonate with a story and maybe just buy the state's stuff or go on feelings, or this is just something that they see something a little different. Candy Crush is a tile matching game with a confectionery motif where players are awarded sugar bonuses and tasty candy combos per the app's description. Y'all, if you don't know what Candy Crush is, if my Aunt Edith with a jitterbug behind knows what Candy Crush is, then I think it is ubiquitous at this point. I do like his Hawaiian shirt. I will say I love his Hawaiian shirt. And his face there. And does he have a giant, like, punk rock ring on his pinky? Sir, you rock out. You look like you are feeling good that day. And you know what? I love your Hawaiian shirt. This year's global online contest open to adults who have reached level 25 and above began on March 28th and concludes April 28th. The best player will take home the biggest prize to date, $1 million. The LIRR became a lot sweeter when I began to play Candy Crush Saga. From there, beating levels became a staple in my day, he said. As a self-proclaimed Candy Crush veteran, Jay chooses his seat on the train wisely to ensure he has minimal distractions. He sits at the jump seat by the train doors on the Lear because, quote, it's a bit more secluded and quiet, which are a key to getting in the zone. Sir, it's Candy Crush. It's not, marathon running. Sometimes the father of four gets lost in the Candy Kingdom. There have been a few incidents where I was on a roll, looked up, and realized I had missed my stop, he chuckled. There was a time when Jay, through his obsession with Candy Crush, had gone off the rails and decided to quit cold turkey for 3 years after reaching a staggering level 5,000 out of 16,000. Fortunately, he gave in to his digital sweet tooth just in time to learn about the 2023 Candy Crush All-Stars. The decision to enter the competition felt like a no-brainer. Jay joined the mobile gaming tournament to find 20 million other competitors around the world, including the UK, US, Brazil, Canada, Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Norway, Denmark, Austria, Ireland, Finland, Poland, Romania, Chechnya, and Greece and Poland, or Portugal, also playing. I would consider it a vice. If a vice, I think, becomes an addiction when it starts, at least in my humble opinion, and again, take this with a ramen noodle level of salt, because I'm not a doctor or therapist or therapyologist. But in my opinion, a vice becomes an addiction when it starts taking things away from you instead of, giving you a little small comfort. So, like, say you drink a glass of wine each night. I think it would become an addiction if you were drinking bottles and bottles and then weren't able to function in the morning because you were hungover and you continually and habitually did that. But that's just, my opinion. And like I said, y'all don't have to agree with me. I am a hot mess express. I try not to give life advice because, dear Lord, we are all just trying to human and make it out of here, you know, semi an okay person. No, I think it's the real game, I hope. Dear Lord, I hope. I hope there are no Candy Crush, smexiness fetish people. That's a whole new level of odd I can't even take right now in 2024. The gamer battled it out online for a month before taking it to the final 10. Quote, I really couldn't believe it was happening to me until I stood on stage in London and played Candy Crush to a live audience. Who the hell goes to sit and watch people play Candy Crush? Like, those are the people I want to interview because I have no I I have no idea why people would sit there and watch him play Candy Crush. It baffles me. I want to I want to understand your personal experience and why this gives you joy because it confuses the heck out of me. And it's not demeaning. I don't want to be mean to them. I'm just like, what about this makes it fun for you? Because I am all the confused. His decades worth of experience in Candy Crush helped him rise to the top ahead of the second and third place finishers from Eugene, Oregon, and Madrid, Spain. Respectively, Jay scored 100,000 while the other two opponents got 50,000 each. Jay was also awarded a limited edition champion ring, a rainbow of semi-precious stones cast in gold, designed by Icebox, worth $75,000. Oh, so that's what that big pinky ring was. Jay wasn't precious with his share of the pot. Quote, I bought a ticket for Power Trip. It was a 3-day festival in California. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, and Tool, he gushed. I bought the plane ticket, played Candy Crush there, and rented a Chevy Suburban to camp out in. It was super fun. My wife also got a kitchen renovation out of it, so win-win. His vacation was brief, as Jay is now back to crushing candy in anticipation of the 2024 showdown, taking home the whopping $1 million prize. Yeah, like to a room full of people playing on their phones, not paying attention. Welcome to a brave new world, America and the world. This is this is what we are looking at. What the Schnell? Y'all, this is killing me. Who does this? Who watches this and gets excited? And again, it's not demeaning. I don't get it. It's like trigonometry and much of math. I just don't get it. It doesn't compute. That's a personal failing. It's not a personal commentary on anyone. Quote, if I win this year, I'm sending my kids to college. Nope, send them to welding school, he promised. I hope they can tell the story to their friends that their dad is so good at Candy Crush, he sends them to college. But it is a beautiful thought. Jay's daughter, Sammy, 19, has been her dad's, quote, biggest fan, end quote, during his Candy Crush competition. Quote, I was actually on FaceTime when they announced the winners in 2023, so I got to watch it live. I was jumping up and down like crazy when they announced his name, Sam told the Post. I could not be more proud of him. He truly is the best father ever, she added. It's just a bonus that he's the Candy Crush world champion, too. No, it is just I don't it doesn't math out to me. I am confused. Looks like this pediatrician will not be doing, checkups. She'll be doing lockup. Quote, looking for a death spell, end quote. Pediatrician owns up to murder for hire plot on the morning of the trial, just days after prosecutors ripped her fabricated abuse claims against ex-husband. Well, ma'am, confession is the first part of redemption. Maybe you can work in the clinic at the clink. A Kentucky pediatrician known for having a quote Disney theme throughout her kid's life pediatrics office admitted on the morning of her trial that she tried to hire a third-party intervener to unalive her ex-husband, whom prosecutors said the defendant falsely accused of abusing her and their children. Stephanie Russell, 53, isn't the first, and if history is any guide, won't be the last person to get caught soliciting undercover law enforcement to unalive an ex. Again, if you go to a website called, Hitmen Are Us, it's probably a Fed setup. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not going full Alex Jones, but this is how I would operate with the situation. I'd be like, okay, you're a Fed. Goodbye. Uh, but Russell's fall after losing custody of her two children was steep. Her own defense in February filed WhatsApp's messages showing Russell wanted her ex, RC, hexed with a quote-unquote unaliving spell in the months before May 2022 arrest and trying to pay $7,000 to an undercover FBI agent to unalive the victim. $7,000 is cheap, ma'am. Did you also get him to sign an enhanced, life insurance policy? Because you seem like the type that would do that. I mean, I don't have the, that chapter life insurance dance going, but she gives me the vibes of a Pamela Huber. Quote, what is your success rate? What is your price? What is your guarantee? Oh my God, she wanted to speak to his manager. She's like, did you, do you have a regional manager of hit people? Because I want to know your success rate. I would like to check up on your stats if possible. And can I use this coupon from Groupon? Dear Lord. Russell asked before a woman identified as quote-unquote mama answered, death rates are 85%. The text showed oh, well, I don't know what I sent you, but it was probably hilarious, Squab Bob. I just can't remember right now to save my life. Text show Russell continuing to seek out a unaliving spell from a spiritual healer with a different phone number than the first before turning to a third contact identified as SK. Quote, the only way we will have peace is if he's not around, Russell insisted to SK, who answered, quote, unaliving him, etc., is going to harm you and family as he has some type of protection on him. So he's warded against evil. +1 ward, or I don't know, Mr. Mo plays World of Warcraft, and if I remembered anything he told me, because I kind of wander off when he starts talking about it, but plus 100,000 in protection spells. Awesome. I did not know that was a real life thing. Must get plus 100 motivation points. Get my life upgrade. What Russell's attorneys aimed to show through the text was that their client's, quote, mental health was severely disturbed. Well, as a parent, I'm glad that my pediatrician might be deeply mentally disturbed while looking at my children. And she was not legally sane at the time she turned to the occult. While it is not a surprise that Russell appeared in court on Monday as it is the day U.S. District Judge David J. Hale set her trial to begin, the court docket reviewed by Law and Crime showed a flurry of filings in the last week, whether for motions in limine, juror questionnaires, or prosecutors' exhibit list. In other words, all indications were that the case would go to trial. But as recently as April 17th, last Wednesday, Hale refused to allow Russell to, quote, admit mental health testimony and records from family court litigation between her and her ex-husband. Then on April 19th, prosecutors remarked on the judge's order and redoubled their efforts to ensure that Russell would not be able to float false claims that the victim abused her and their children. Quote, Russell's allegations of DV and SA were squarely rejected by the family court, which found that the child's father, RC, quote, has not committed any acts of DV or abuse against Russell or the children as determined by medical providers and the custody evaluator supported by the evidence presented in this action. Now, if any of you have watched Megan Fox, she threw in SA in there, grape, if you like, or bad touch. YouTube gets a little weird when you say certain things. Do you know what doctors have to do to test for that? They are some of the most invasive exams. This woman put her children through this. I implore you, parents that are co-parenting, put your shenanigans inside and put the kid first. You may dislike this person immensely, but they're still that child's father or mother, and you don't want them growing up, having all those negative thoughts, because part of them came from, the person you dislike a lot, and kids can internalize that. Stop being dinguses, put the kids first, and maybe don't look for things on the internet that are silly. A footnote explained the court further found that Russell has fabricated these allegations, then used the children and misinformation to build a false narrative that RC is abusive. Prosecutors absolutely old line read, very much so. Prosecutors warned that allowing those falsehoods into evidence would have created, quote, a trial within a trial to thoroughly disprove and discredit these allegations. In the end, Russell pled guilty to a count each for attempted murder for hire and aiding and abetting interstate stalking on the morning of her trial, rendering the foregoing moot. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Kentucky emphasized that Russell was caught in no small part because in July 2021, quote, she began soliciting multiple Kids Life employees asking if they knew someone that would be willing to unalive RC, Russell. The owner and operator of the Louisville area pediatric practice was stopped in May 2022 once an undercover Fed posing as, the ultimate problem solver recorded conversations he had with her. Quote, I want him to be completely gone from my life, yes, Russell confirmed, before the FBI agent suggested making it look a bit like a self-deletion. Yes, that would be amazing, Russell responded. In short, prosecutors alleged that Russell eventually stopped soliciting, unaliving help from would-be spellcasters and turned to a more conventional means to carry out the unaliving, cutting against the defense argument that she was not sane. Prosecutors said that the stalking charge was connected to Russell's conduct during the child custody battle that she went on to lose. She admittedly recruited, quote, JS to travel from Michigan to perpetrate a harassment campaign that involved the harasser posting as a local news reporter and using burner phones to barrage victim RC with, quote, defamatory allegations of misconduct. The harasser left RC accusatory voicemails from the phone provided by Russell on RC's phone, entering RC's garage and leaving a note inside the garage pretending to be a reporter writing a derogatory story that would involve RC, and leaving flyers with RC's photograph and other personal identifying information on cars at RC's office. Prosecutors say the flyers contained defamatory allegations of misconduct and were intended to be viewed by RC's coworkers, supervisors, and potential clients. Prosecutors say the defendant will face up to 15 years behind bars when she's sentenced on the last day of July, but the plea agreement under Rule 11, subsection 1C, detailed that Russell's defense agreed not to seek less than 97 months or 8 years, while the prosecution agreed to ask for more, or agreed not to ask for more than 144 months or 12 years in federal prison. The judge accepted Russell's guilty plea but said he needs to review the case further before reaching a decision on whether to accept the proposed punishment. Quote, the court accepts the defendant's plea of guilty but defers its decision as to the acceptance or rejection of the sentence called for by the plea agreement until it has an opportunity to consider the pre-sentence investigation report, a Monday order from Hale explained. So there you go. Yeah, she's definitely a Betty Broderick type. In other news, we have finally found an effing use for Axe body spray that doesn't mean, assaulting me olfactorily. And the rest of us, teenage boys, I'm looking at you, and you should not be watching this channel. But holy Lord, in my high school, it was nothing but BO and the overwhelming scent of Axe body spray because my high school did not have air conditioning. So you can imagine the joy and wonder that was in, hot, humid ass Indiana. A British sheep farmer said she found a surprising solution for curbing the aggression of her rams: Axe body spray. Giraffe Gal, have a wonderful day, and we will be thinking about you, and good luck, ma'am. We got you. If we could find a use for Axe body spray that wasn't sending it to Mars, I'm open to listening to it. Sam Bryce, who raises sheep on Norfolk-Suffolk border in England, said it was other farmers on Facebook group, Ladies Who Lamb, that told her the Africa variety of the body spray known as Lynx in Britain and other countries where Axe trademark is not available masks the hormones that cause the rams to become aggressive toward each other. I think it just affects teenage boys and making them even more obnoxious, but that's just me. Look, I lived through 2002 with no air conditioning and a bunch of teenage boys in a daggone high school. Just telling you, I'm still scarred. And my nose has barely recovered. Bryce told the Wall Street Journal that since she started using the heavily perfumed body spray on the animals, there's no argy-bargy, no rowing. She said she used body spray to calm the rams, and it's a growing practice. I am stealing argy-bargy as the word for a scuffle or a tussle, because that is an awesome, turn of phrase. Quote, there are several of us doing it right across the country, and I think even the world now, Bryce told ITV News. Some fellow sheep farmers said that the body spray is good for more than just keeping rams calm. Suffolk shepherdess Caitlin Jenkins said she uses the same variety to convince mother sheep to adopt abandoned lambs. She says the ewes identify their babies by smell. Using the body spray confuses them into thinking that the lamb belongs to them. Quote, I always go for Lynx Africa because it has a very distinctive, strong smell. She said the ones that don't smell as strong have less of a chance of working. Yes, spray that out in the wild where we cannot be assaulted by it. Use it for the sheep. I was going to say send it directly into the sun, which is what I think we should do with our trash, but that's a whole nother story. And I've watched way too much Futurama. In our final story, what in the actual rapture am I reading right now? It's a little spicy. I'm gonna have to change some words, but women are paying $500, I guess, a shot to get salmon male contributing stuff injected into their lady bits to boost sex lives. Y'all, there are a lot of things that I would do to bring the smexy back, but I don't know if I'm going to go get salmon injections. Like Stella just went to Barbados or Jamaica. I don't know that I'm going to meet Mr. Limpet. Okay. Oh my god, what is this? What am I watching? What am I looking? Why? Oh my god, no. No, stop. Science. Stop it. These women will try any fin to improve their smexy times. Women are paying $500 to get salmon swimmers injected into their lady bits to help their floundering sex lives. Quote, a lot of older women come to me saying they're not having any kind of, feeling lucky time anymore. Amando Asaparidi, an aesthetic nurse who runs clinics in London, Liverpool, and North Wales, told the Daily Mail. So here we do the O-shot, and they're reporting stronger and more frequent completions, and increased natural lube, and greater feelings of bringing that groove back. An O-shot is a non-surgical treatment intended to rejuvenate the lady bits. Oh my god, y'all, should I ask my doctor about this? I do have a doctor's appointment after this, and I'm kind of irritated at the entire medical profession in general. I think I might just see what his face does if I ask him this. I'm just saying, look, I'm a little bit done with medical people. And who the hell was the first to try this? Who looked at a salmon swimmers and thought, you know what? I'm gonna stick them in my lady bits. Those salmon get around. I mean, did someone just have caviar laying around and thought, you know what? I wonder what we can do with those swimmers. We are just not exploiting the salmon population, as equally as we should. For the love of all that is holy. Good morning, free spirit prepping and news. I will get English one day. I really will. It's alleged to typically show results after about 2 to 4 sessions. So you have to spend up to $2,000 to actually get, the happiness. Y'all, we are going to have some mutant fish babies. I did not co-sign this. 2024, you have to stop. This is how Mr. Limpet was made. I swear to God. I love that movie, though. Welcome, JKD Buck. This is exactly how Admiral Akbar was made. In my headcanon, I will never now see It's a Trap without thinking of salmon swimmers. I'm sorry, actor who played Admiral Akbar. I will never think that. So you have to go to all these sessions and, look, when I am president, we are no longer spending all this time on lady bits. I don't care that we have, feminine products, but I don't want to read about them. I don't want to have a news or like commercials, and I am stopping Pfizer from advertising so much. Several kinds of injections are used for the procedure, including the patient's own blood or salmon swimmers. Quote, it's absolutely just life-changing for them, the esthetician said, or whatever her name is. As people age, their skin loses elasticity, which can lead to painful smexy time. According to Peach and Lily, which sells a marine jewel capsule from Sangapre, a skincare line and Seoul-based spa, DNA extracted from the swimmers of salmons has potent regenerative qualities, working on the superficial, not on the superficial level, but sinking deeply into the skin to work within. You know what? I don't want salmon swimmer DNA anywhere near my lady bits. Now, if you told me that it would help, all the bags under my eyes, I'm willing to, accept that. You are totally fine. I get those days. You are no worries. This is a okay place. What the actual Chanel? Again, who thought of this? Who was looking at salmon swimmers and thought, "You know what? I bet there's something we could do with this." I mean, it's like when I get all bogged down mentally on who's the first person that ate a lobster because those things look like mutant, bug monsters. Who decided to eat one of those? Who was like, "You know what? You know what, George? I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat one of them bugs." Let's see here. So they encourage cell turnover that in turn helps firm skin and maintain its elasticity. The purified and sterilized salmon DNA molecules officially called polynucleotides, also have anti inflammatory effects that essentially rejuvenate the skin anywhere on the body. The fish swimmers have been a staple in Korean skincare for many years, often mentioned on products' ingredients list or injected into the face. God bless you, Korean beauty companies, for just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at my wrinkles. Oh my god. Uh, It gained traction last in the US last year after Jennifer Aniston revealed she once sampled a salmon swimmer facial, admitting to the Wall Street Journal that she will try almost anything to keep her skin looking young. One study done in 2017 demonstrated that salmon swimmers help repair cell damage, sped up healing of wounds, and diminished inflammation. I wonder what human swimmers would do. Dear Lord, are we gonna start, looking at the swimmers of other animals and seeing what they can do for us? Because I'm kinda out with medicine if that's what we're doing. I'll have wrinkles, I'll be fluffy, and I'll deal with my pain, but I'm kinda done with this if that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we thought that trepanning, which was drilling a hole in the skull, and, bloodletting was weird. We have come up with salmon swimmer injections and lady bits. I think we're done. I think we've done overtaken the the plague doctor stuff. Let's see. Uh Other studies have shown that the proteins found in the swimmers help reduce signs of aging. So could you not just, CRISPR the polynucleotides and maybe just not continue to harvest salmon swimmers? I mean, I think the salmon still needs some of those to, continue the population, but I could be wrong. In 2020, a study published in the International Journal of Cosmetic Science found that the DNA in the swimmers contained higher water content and increased skin elasticity, stronger collagen levels, and increased production of hy- hydrolinic acid, some weird kind of acid that's supposed to help you. Other reports done on mice in 2016 found that salmon swimmer DNA increased blood flow to the skin and was also beneficial in healing wounds. Quote, several studies have demonstrated its healing powers, and it is sometimes used to promote healing. It has been used not only to heal skin, but also heal damaged livers. Beer, co founder of Scientific RX Skincare and the director of Cosmetic Bootcamp, said, these treatments seem a little fishy, but some people will do just about anything to look and feel how they used to. So there you go. That's a thing that I read in the year of our clown world 2024. So Yeah, someone molested a salmon at some point and found out that all of their swimmers were great. On that note, I leave you. I will, let me send you guys to, I believe someone is doing something, possibly. Uh, I'm going to send you guys to, IDIC. I am trying to, do things that are a little bit scary for me, and honest to goodness, showing up on a wig, playing a strange character, no, no worries from me. But to send, you guys over to people I haven't really met, it's a sort of block on me, so I am forcing myself to do it so that it's no longer a thing to me. So you guys are in no way obligated to go to his channel. I am just trying to, for me, um, work on things that are hard for me, like I tell you guys to do. I can't tell you guys that it's a good thing and then not do it myself. That would be, well, that would be not good, at least in my opinion. So have a wonderful day. Sprinkle glitter, kindness, sarcasm, wit all around. You know, work on your small little corner of the world. If we all just worked on being a little nicer in our small little corners, I think we would see a major, major change. I will see you. Thank you, Squid Pro Quo. You know what? If they could just spell it out like that, I would be fine. They just have all these letters and consonants that shouldn't go together. I actually use the snot moisturizer. IDK if it works, but it was on like the try it and buy it thing. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. Any hoozle, I'm going to leave you guys there. I am going to the doctor and I will see you tonight on Nightly Newsy News. I'm going to work on a tutorial for how to do the victory rolls today if I get that done. But I do have physical therapy appointment also for middle daughter. So it's a struggle bus, but we will deal with it. We will do it with a smile and we will try to spread kindness around. So I will see you guys later. Bye guys. Let me get the little doodad up.